Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Adam's Animal World podcast. And this is a very special, big episode this time. This is going to be the Attack on Titan final season part 1, as we know now. Review and speculation on part 2 as well. So I want to introduce my guest as is for these Attack on Titan discussions. David Turner himself is here once again.
Hello, everybody, and it's that time again, and it's going to be a very good one this week because we're all hyped. We've all seen the end. Well, hopefully you have if you're listening to this. Otherwise, obviously, huge spoiler alert. But yes, the final episode of Attack on Titan Part 1 of the final season aired, and we got stuff to talk about.
We do. How I want to start this episode is David's actually got quite a funny story to start off with him actually trying to watch this episode on Crunchyroll last night. Now, the reason that this is an issue, or was an issue, I did not watch the episode last night, for the record. I watched it this morning. And in hindsight, as we spoke earlier today about this, I actually made the right decision to watch it this morning, although I didn't know that this was going to be an issue. Now, the reason it was an issue is because here in the UK, the clocks went... Is it forward or back? I can never remember.
Forward.
Forward. They went forward. And that, I think, kind of messed with the release time of the episode. Now, I want to say for the record, me and David were talking about whether this would be an issue. And I checked the Crunchyroll website yesterday before the episode aired. And it did say on there that the episode was going to air at 8:45 p.m. like usual. Now I'm going to let David cut in here and tell his story about him trying to watch the episode last night.
Yeah, so a slight fine additional detail to what Adam just said. It did state it was going to be put on there at 8:45, which is when it always is or has been throughout the whole season on Crunchyroll. But it did say on that sort of piece of information that Adam said there about it starting 8:45. Just to clarify, now in the UK, when the clocks go forward, we move from GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, to BST, British Summertime, right? So on that piece of information that Adam wrote down, it did state that it was going to be on there at 8:45 BST. So
I can confirm that it said that, yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, very good, okay. Because I did sort of think to myself, because we're ahead an hour now, actually, maybe we might get it at 7:45. But no, Adam told me it was 8:45. So I was like, okay, well, they've clearly got into sync. Now here's the thing. I know this isn't like super, super late, but, when it comes to, sort of a bit later on in the evening, around about sort of 10 p.m., I am, looking to really settle down and obviously I get up early for work and things. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. And so
I'll say for the record, sorry for cutting in there, but I just want to state for the record, here in the UK, it aired, well, it doesn't air anymore because it's finished, but it aired on Sunday evenings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I work the next day, Monday morning, good, all that lovely stuff. And it just, I the thing is, I don't mind waiting until the next day to watch it. I could watch it after work, whatever. But this being the final episode, particularly, I was like, I ain't waiting. Like, I'm watching this ASAP. But I thought, all right, I could slip it in before bed, watching the episode, and and there you go. Now, 8:45 arrived yesterday, and no episode. I was like, what's going on here then? Or maybe they're just a bit late, or maybe there's some technical issues. And I had a couple of mates as well who I'd spoken to, and because they'd asked when it was on, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got the source from Adam that it's starting at 8:45 BST, all very good. And where's the episode then? Now it turned out that I don't know how in the actual fuck this works.
And I'll let you finish. And then I'll get into it. But I am also quite confused about this.
Yeah, and I don't know how this works, considering we went forward an hour. You'd think if we, like I said previously, you'd have thought if anything, if we'd have gone forward an hour, we probably would have got the episode at 7:45 instead of 8:45. But there you go. Now, for some reason, we didn't get this episode until 9:45, an hour later than normal. Now, I understand that our 9:45 yesterday, the day before that, would have been 8:45, and I get that, and that's probably what happened. But don't put on there, Crunchyroll, it's that you're going to start at 8:45 BST when you actually start at 9:45 BST.
They should what they should have put. They should have put, in hindsight, they should have put 9:45 BST, shouldn't they?
I mean, yeah. I mean, even if they'd have put 8:45 GMT, then I would have gone, okay, well, it's not really GMT anymore, but at least I could account for that hour. But no, so I did have to watch it quite late-ish, and I didn't appreciate that, but whatever. I watched it, and there we go. So I think it's time, now that little rambling shit is over, I think now it's time to get into what we're here for, isn't it, Adam? And that is the review.
The review of episode. The way we're going to do this is we're going to basically give a review of episode 75, which was the latest episode.
Above and Below.
Above and Below, it was called. We're going to give our review of the episode, and then after, I haven't written it down on our notes here, but basically we're going to do that, and then after that, we're going to really quickly give our review of part 1 as a whole, and then after that, we're going to do speculation on part 2, because we know now that part 2 is coming.
Yeah.
But we'll get more into that later on. But for now, we're going to talk about episode 75, Above and Below. We briefly talked about it just before we started recording, but we're going to go into a bit more detail here. So I'm going to let David Turner himself here start with his thoughts on episode 75.
Yes, so now, I'm not going to start off by saying I thought this was bad, but on the flip side, I'm also not going to say that I thought it was really good either. I sort of my personal problem is that, but I guess it's not a massive issue in the sense of, it wasn't predictable, because to be honest with you, almost everything that I predicted previously didn't really happen. I mean, it says on. I actually looked. I'm on Wikipedia at the moment, and there's a bit of confusion here because it said that it says, and I quote, as Zeke dies, a female Titan approaches him and puts him into her stomach while Zeke sees a vision of a girl. Now, Zeke didn't. I mean, yes, he looked absolutely shredded to bits, and he looked mangled as you'd expect, being caught in an explosion. But it didn't actually seem to me like he was actually dead, and perhaps that female Titan was. I mean, maybe that sentence on Wikipedia is meant to say as Zeke is dying. I mean, because I don't think he's dead anyway.
It didn't appear. It didn't appear that way. No.
No. So if he's not, I got that right. But what I didn't really like is that I didn't like how there was absolutely no mention of Levi at all. So
okay, yeah. Well, this is where our sort of, if you listened to our last discussion, our lead up to this episode, we were talking about what we thought was going to happen in this episode, and we were saying, we thought that it was going to show what happened to Levi and all this sort of stuff, but he was not mentioned once in the episode. He was not seen at all in the episode. I don't know what was going on there.
No, but there was a lot of talking in this episode as well, which was. It created a very tense atmosphere, which was, quite cool, and explained a couple of more bits of detail and stuff. But I felt like maybe there was a bit too much talking in here. But I can't help but, this is going to sound really arrogant, but I can't help but think that maybe some of my ideas that I mentioned in my prediction may have been a bit better than how this episode went. However, a fantastic ending to the episode. Really sets up perfectly for the start of part 2 of this season. So that's my little summary before we go into detail, and that is, I liked it, but it wasn't entirely what I thought. So I'm a little bit split in my thoughts of it.
I'd have to agree with that, because going into the episode, like I said, all of the speculation and things that we did before, like, pretty much none of that happened in the episode. Everything
No, it was a pretty poor. Now me and Adam, none of you listening will know this, but a lot of the time, me and Adam have very, very good predictions about a lot of things, especially when it comes to wrestling. But with this, we done absolutely awful, didn't we?
Oh, it was shocking. We got it completely wrong. Like I said, nothing that we predicted pretty much happened in the episode. Like I said, we thought that Levi was going to be. We were going to find out what happened to him. No, I mean, there was so many things. I can't even remember everything that we thought, to be honest. But
if you want to know, you have to go back and watch the previous video. But
I'd have to go back and watch that.
But what did happen is, as you say, a lot of talking. There was a bit where, now Adam mentioned this off air, but can you please just reiterate right now the savagery of Yelena, please?
Oh, so basically the scouts are after the end of the last episode, the scouts are sort of in a prison cell, and Yelena comes to them and is talking to them about things, and about she basically went down there to basically tell them the truth of everything, of what's going on, pretty much. And she does do that, but before that, there's a guy who is talking so much shit about Sasha, and
the bastard! How dare him?
He's talking all this shit because Niccolo is in the is it Niccolo the chef?
The chef that absolutely, like, they just couldn't get enough of Sasha.
He absolutely loved Sasha. And this guy was talking a lot of shit and pissing off Niccolo and all this stuff.
What did that person say specifically about Sasha?
He was saying, like, how could you love someone or be interested in someone who's just stinking of potatoes all the time and blah blah blah, and she's a whore and this and that and blah blah blah, all this sort of stuff. And obviously Yelena had enough of it in the end, because she just shot this guy in the head mid-sentence. Took him out.
Just ended him, and it was, oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about him, kind of thing.
This whole Jaegerist thing, it is a little bit. Do you know what I do actually like a little bit about their approach? Although their approach is very
I was actually going to say a little detail at the start of the episode about the Jaegerists, which was mentioned, was actually that the different coloured armbands, depending on how you were brought into the Jaegerists. If you just went in willingly, you had a white armband. If you sort of went in kicking and struggling, you had a red armband. And if you went in without knowing it, you kind of had was it like a blue one or a navy coloured one?
Black or black? I can't remember.
It was like a dark coloured one.
But one thing I don't mind about the Jaegerists' approach, although it's very, very threatening in my way or the highway kind of situation, I will give them this. It does appear to a point that they do talk to people, and they do give people a chance to sort of see it their way and join them.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I noticed, is that Aaron's not just going in there and going, oh, fuck everybody, and just killing everybody. He's talking it out with people, like in the episode. I think it was episode 73.
Yeah.
Like in episode 73, when he sat down with Mikasa and Armin. Yes, he said some absolutely outrageous stuff, but he didn't just go in there and start wreaking chaos. Well, at least not straight away.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You haven't really got a choice to whether or not you want to join them or not. But I do like the fact that he does explain and sort of almost talk it out. But but we learned a little bit more about this whole euthanasia, sort of process that they want to go through, where they pretty much. I mean, it sounds a bit like a suicidal cult, doesn't it? Where it's like, look, we ain't going to stop the subjects of Ymir from being a thing and bit that there being titans in the world. So let's just all let's just make sure that no one else is born. And then that's it. There's no more titans.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty mad plan, but
it is.
But they're going.
Very extreme.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is interesting the way that they're going about it. I really liked the scene between Eren and Gabby and Peak. I think.
Oh well,
I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but
that works out quite well because chronologically, everything we've just been saying about the episode, this is the Peak stuff is coming right now. And yes, sorry, I kind of jumped in there. Yeah, we don't know how to say it. We think it's Peak. It could. I've heard people say PK. I've heard all sorts of ways to say it. We're just going to say Peak.
I heard someone say Piek once. I got no idea what is correct.
So I don't fucking know.
I'm just saying
anyway,
Peak.
We're just going to say Peak. So that's who we're about. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that scene. It was an intense scene. She went in there basically, and you think initially she's going in there and she's like just sort of succumbing, if you will, to Eren and his plan, and she's trying to make Eren. She's trying to.
Let me just say this: the bollocks on Eren, though. He's like, go on, then shoot me. You know you can't. You know you can't. You know you won't. Yeah.
It was
top level badass.
Top level bollocks from Eren there, but no. But no. But yeah, she goes in there and she's trying to like side with Eren, or at least make it appear that that's what she's doing.
I mean, we are actually getting towards. This shows how much talking there was because we are actually already getting to the end of this episode very swiftly.
I don't know about you. Well, I was going to say I don't know about you when you were watching the episode, but when I watched the episode, even though yes, there was a lot of talking and a lot of this and that, it absolutely flew by when I was watching it.
I think it's because it being the final episode, and I don't know whether you had the same thought, but I think I was expecting so much to happen that I was just like so and I agree it did go fast, but because I was expecting so much to happen all the time, I was just on tender hooks like the whole way through. I really was.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, folks. Did anybody seriously buy for a second that Peak was actually gonna side with Eren? Because if you did, well, I don't know, but we could see that she was gonna betray Eren like a million miles. Well, I could anyway.
And that's exactly what she ended up doing. So the last part of the episode is they're all standing on the roof of the building. Eren's up there, Peak's up there, Gabby's up there. And I can't remember exactly what she says, but she says something and she turns around and she points at Eren, saying something like the one who I can't remember what she said, but she points at Eren, and you think she's pointing at Eren, but she's not actually pointing at Eren. What she's pointing at is that general area, because underneath where Eren is standing is Gilead as the Titan, waiting to eat Eren.
Yes.
And he busts through. He busts through, doesn't he? At the end,
he does. He busts through, and it's all kicking off, and then Eren transforms, which gives away their position, and which was really a really clever plan by the Malians, to be fair. And all of a sudden, the airships are on their way, and we get the absolutely badass ending where there's Rhaena and Eren, and it's like it's all going to kick off in part 2, and the challenge is on. Basically, it's on.
So it's on. Yes. So it appears then that in the first episode of part 2, when it airs, and we'll get into part 2 in a minute. In the first episode of part 2, we're going to get the Eren versus Rhaena fight. that we were teased earlier in part 1.
We were, and I thought it was going to happen back then. I think a lot of people did, but no, we had to wait, and we got to wait even longer because that altercation won't transpire until the next part. But
Attack on Titan, and I've said this to you before, haven't I? Attack on Titan is so good at epic end of season cliffhangers.
They are indeed. So that was pretty much what happened. That was the episode. I'm looking at the agenda here, and it says about speculation for part 2, but I'm tempted to say that I think the score of the episode probably should be before that, shouldn't it?
Well, I have actually. Now I've got a different version because he's basically just got like a picture of the agenda that I wrote out. I've actually got the physical agenda. So actually, since we've been recording, I have sort of in the background just been making slight changes to the agenda. Yes, we are going to score the season. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to basically now score episode 75. Then we're going to give our sort of, and we're not going to spend ages on it. We're going to give a brief sort of summary and review of the entire of part 1, score part 1 as a whole, and then we're going to speculate on part 2.
Right. So what would you give this episode then, above and below episode 75, out of 10 then for yourself?
Personally, I'm going to give it a 7.5 because it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. And I think when I watched it, because I was expecting certain things to happen and they didn't happen, I was maybe a little bit disappointed. So maybe that brings the score down a little bit just because of personal disappointment on certain things. But I'm not saying it was a bad episode because what they did give us was still good.
No, I will echo that, but I'm just going to give it a solid 7. I don't think I'd give it any more than that, but because for similar reasons, I was expecting a little bit more out of it, and I think the anticipation was so high, and that's very often a dangerous thing in anything in general, actually, to be so hyped and the expectations being so high. But it was good. I mean, I didn't find out everything that I wanted to. Like, I feel a bit annoyed that the whole Levi situation's been ignored as well. But
well, it's at least for now.
For now. Now, all that aside, it was still good. Like I said before, it was tense. A few more details here and there about the plans and everything. Great ending. So yeah, it was very enjoyable. For me, a solid 7 for that episode.
Well, there we are. So that's our thoughts on episode 75. Now what we're going to do, we're going to really quickly, and like I said, we're not going to spend ages on this. We're just going to really quickly do a summary of our thoughts on final season part 1 as a whole.
Okie dokie.
So I'll start. So when part 1 started, I was a little bit, well, I say a little bit, I was very confused as to what was going on because there was characters I hadn't seen before. Obviously, we know there was, well, we know now, there was the time skip, which wasn't immediately apparent when you first watched part 1.
No, I remember I think me and Adam both remembered watching this going, what is actually going on?
I remember watching episode 1 of part 1 and being like, I don't know who these fucking characters are. I don't know what's going on. But I remember at the time us, even though we were confused about what was going on, I remember us saying to each other, it was still, the first episode was still good.
Oh, very action packed, and it gave a lot of information and raised a lot of questions, as Attack on Titan is so good to doing. But yeah, lots of action, but just a bit confusing. So sort of a good start, I guess, because it was entertaining. But this season, I know I'm going along. I know I'm skipping quite a bit, but it took a long time for us to actually get to Eren, didn't it?
It was quite a few episodes, maybe at least 3 or 4 episodes, I think. And It took a while to get there, and I actually, and we both realised this at a certain point, but we'd actually been missing Eren, and he'd been in plain sight in certain episodes, and we hadn't realised.
Well, that's true. Yes,
because there was the scenes earlier on in the season where it was, at the I can't remember what place it was, but it was like the hospital place or I don't know, I can't remember because it's been a while. But there was that place where Eren was, and he was talking to the guy, and until that scene in the basement with Reiner and Eren, I did not realise that the person with the eye patch and the long hair was actually Eren until that moment.
No, I think we were a little bit late to the party to realise that. A bit slow.
We were a bit slow on that. But I remember that. I mean, to be honest, and I know a lot of people are probably going to say this, and it is true. This season, or part one, sorry, I keep saying this season, but part one of this season, it just kept getting better and better and better and better as it went along.
I mean, yes. I mean, there were episodes where it, but you always get this where like it dips a little bit, and you get like flashback episodes or fillery-ish episodes where, yes, you get a lot of information about other things that are going on, but where it takes you somewhat away from, the present day main focus of the story. But I suppose I think what was quite good about this part is that it wasn't ridiculously heavy on that.
But in season 2, I mean, let's not forget, season 2 was very bad for that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yes, it was. But I think this part one of this final season has been brilliant because it's actually, there's been a very good balance. There's been a good balance of absolutely intense, fast-paced savagery and violence, but there's also been, we've discovered a lot of new things that we've been probably thinking about, wondering for years. And there was also a balance where it did calm down because, to be fair, I did say to Adam weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago, after the episodes, Assault, for example, and Assassin's Bullet, that after all those episodes, they couldn't really just like keep on giving and giving and giving, flat out intense savage scenes. It did have to slow down at points. And I honestly, I really thought the pacing of this season was brilliant.
It was well done, and I'm going to say this now, and to be honest, I don't care, and I am going to rant on some of the fandom here, and I am going to rant on some of the fandom again momentarily, but I just want to say this for the record, and I know it's been said before, and I'm not going to go into it again because it's been done before. But I just want to say to the people that have been slagging off Studio Mappa for the bad CG and the way they've done this season, fuck off, please.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It looks fine. It looks fairly good.
The people that have been tweeting at the studio and certain animators involved in the show and saying all your work shit, blah blah blah, and that, fuck you.
Yeah, it's just no need for that shit. If it was shit, then maybe yeah, but it's not. So,
and here's the thing, and like I said, I don't mean to go on and on about this and cause an issue about this, but it's just like, I'd like these people that have been slagging off Studio Mappa and the animators. Let's see you make an anime, and let's see what you can come up with, and let's see how good your anime is, eh? Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
And I want to state for the record also that is not the only time in this video that I'm going to rant on the fandom, on the Attack on Titan fandom, and I just want to state it's not everybody.
No, of course not.
It's absolutely, it's not everybody. It's just some people who think that. Anyway. We've been there before.
Petty bollocks, it really is. But
it really
yeah,
is.
But yeah, so fantastic. I mean, where would you, as it currently stand? I know, obviously, as a whole of the part of the season, but where would this season for you currently rank in terms of like your best or favorite Attack on Titan season?
At the moment, this is going to be ranked second place.
Second place. I assume your first place still being Series 1.
My number one favorite season of Attack on Titan still is season 1.
Yeah, season 1 was fantastic, but I agree. I would honestly say in this order, I genuinely would say season 1 best. This season so far gets second, which was a good change, to see what part 2's like. Third place season 3, and in last place season 2.
Season 2 was my least favorite.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
So
what's
overall,
the part 1 score then?
Overall, Attack on Titan final season part 1 is going to get from me 8 out of 10.
Oh wow, I'm actually going to say it gets an 8.5. I've really enjoyed this. Like season 1 probably getting a 9. I'm not going to lie. But this an 8.5. It's really pushing, in my opinion, to try and be on par, if not better than the first season. Will it actually manage to do it? Well, I don't know.
I don't know. All I'll say is this: if part 2 goes as well as part 1 did, it's in with a good shout of being better than season 1.
Absolutely. This has been a really, really good first part of the season. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and can't wait until the second part, which is, I suppose, a perfect segue. Looking at the agenda, to actually talk a little bit about that.
So here we go. So let's start. So let's start this. So part 2, we found out yesterday that Attack on Titan final season part 2 is coming out. Now they've got it down here as winter 2022. Which, and if you're watching this, I'm assuming you know all about the way anime seasons work. They don't work like normal seasons. Winter 2022. I mean, that's such a weird fucking year to say. Winter 2022 basically means any time from December 2021 to March of 2022 is when this thing could air. Now, the thing that was, and I'm going to, like I said I was going to rant again a little bit about the fandom. I'm going to rant, and it's not because people have been saying bad shit. It's just because this one is because some people have been saying stupid shit, right? That makes no sense, right? And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
So I've seen a lot of people. So, okay, to be fair, when the studio announced part 2, it said Attack on Titan final season, episode 76 will air winter 2022. Or this winter, or whatever. And there was quite a few people who I've seen on forums and on comments on things and posts and all this sort of stuff, who have been saying, "Oh, what, they're gonna make us wait a year nearly to air what? They're only gonna air one episode? No. No. What that means is episode 76 basically is the first episode of part 2.
Such a stupid. I'm sorry, I don't like to slag people off, but what a stupid thought that really is.
I know,
from certain people.
It really is. And again, it's like I said, it's not everybody. It's just some people who've just been like, "Oh, they're only going to air one episode."
You also told me, most might have been yesterday or the day before, that apparently there was some weird speculation that they might be doing like a movie.
Yes, I did see some people saying that as well, and I don't know where that came from. I think it's
just people chatting shit, isn't it?
I think some of it is. I think it's some people saying certain things, and it starts catching on, and some other people. But yeah, I had heard some rumors of people saying, "Oh, I've heard that they might be making a movie of part 2. Part 2's going to be a movie." Well, it's not.
No,
and it's just sort of, it's a thing. But so let's just nip this in the bud right now. It's not going to be a movie. It's not just going to be one episode. Now, if I had to guess, now again, this is pure speculation because we don't know, and we're not going to know until nearer the time that this actually comes out. I'm going to guess that part 2 is going to be maybe 10-ish episodes, 10, 11 episodes maybe.
Oh, well, no idea.
No idea, but that's just my guess.
I don't think we're going to see this at the end of this year in December. I do think they will drag it, definitely into 2022. Maybe something like
January,
February, or even March. They could. They're going to drag. This is going to be dragged.
I reckon, personally, I don't. Again, I want to say right now, I don't think this will come out in December. I think this will come out, again, prediction and complete speculation, but I think part 2 will, personally, my guess is part 2 will come out in January, and it will be 10 episodes.
Well, yeah, I've got no idea on the episode length. I'm not even going to predict that. But what do you now? Here is the last part about the speculation of the next season. What do you expect, and what do you think will actually transpire in this season?
Oh, I've got no idea. But all I'm going to say at this point is I'm just going to speculate what might happen in episode 76 at this point. I think in episode 76, I think we will get the Reiner and Eren fight. And if we get teased with that and it doesn't happen again, I'm not going to be pleased. I'll tell you. That we've been teased with that.
That will be. I mean, I'm still wondering.
And also, I think we are in episode 76. I think we are going to get the confirmation of whether Zeke is alive or dead, and we are also going to. And Levi. I think we are in episode 76. At least I hope we're going to find out.
I want a bold yes or no answer for this question. By the end of part 2, will Eren be dead?
Yes. Now, here's the thing. The final chapter of the manga comes out in April, so very shortly is when
they've pretty much finished up, haven't they? Like in terms of like making it.
Yeah, there's one chapter left, and I don't know the exact date because I don't read the manga of Attack on Titan, so I don't know when it. All I know is it comes out in April. That's all I know. I don't know when in April. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen or what's been leading up to it, because ever since day 1 of Attack on Titan, I've just been an anime-only watcher, as has David as well.
Yeah.
So all I know is it's coming out in April, and there is one chapter left before it ends.
Yes, this will be the final.
And what I think's happening is the Studio Mappa. I don't know how much of part 2 they have. I don't know if they've started working on part 2 or what. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But I think they are going to wait for the manga to finish and then do their.
Well, they haven't. Well, they haven't got long to wait. To be fair.
No. But do I think that Studio Mappa have at least started working on the early episodes of part 2? Yes, I do think they've started working on it. I would have thought they would.
In terms of prediction, I think that Eren will be killed at the end, and I'll say this, yeah. But I'm actually going to re-emphasize a prediction that I made about and I'm going to say that I think the person that's going to end up killing Eren is going to be Mikasa.
Well, because of the things that he said.
Yeah, I think that, because here's the thing, it's surely going to get to a point where, there's going to be an uprising, and, people are going to get sick and tired of these wars, all this killing, because when you really, really think about it, right, just because there are Titans in this world, why does that necessarily mean that world's got to live in violence?
Well, it doesn't. But
Well, this is what I'm saying. So, but the Aegarists and all this sort of thing, it's like, oh, we need to rid the world of this evil. These. But at the end of the day, as mankind in real life, we technically have all got access to weapons and of any sort. Knives or guns or whatever. So we've all got the power to be able to do these things, but it doesn't mean you have to act on it. So this is clearly, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be an uprising, and someone's going to sort out this society, and stop these wars, and I don't know who's going to die, who's going to survive. I ain't got a clue, but I think I think eliminating the Titans, which is what the Aegis want to do, won't really necessarily be the cause of what ends it. That is my prediction. But do you know what? Do you know what would really, really annoy me?
What's that?
I'll go back to Levi. Could you imagine if they just completely no-sell Levi until the end of the anime, and then somebody goes, "Oh yeah, he is actually dead."
Oh, they just mention it in passing or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, because he's one of the most popular characters in the show, isn't he?
Oh, he is a very popular character, so they've got to acknowledge him. But yeah, that is sort of what I think might happen. But the sort of the Rayna Eren rematch is going to be good. They better.
I hope they don't screw us over on that again.
No. So there you go. That is pretty much, that's my speculation for the second part of this final season.
That is, yes. So as we said, it's coming out winter 2022, which is any time between December and March. Yeah. I personally think it's going to come out in January. I think you said a bit later than that.
I'm going to say probably February. So
probably February.
That is that. I mean, so absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this part of the season, and I cannot wait. As I'm sure everyone who's a big fan of this cannot wait to finally see this all come to fruition and actually end and get some sort of resolution.
It's going to be weird when Attack on Titan is finished, because it's been going for a long journey. It's been. I remember, and I used to have an old channel where I reviewed Attack on Titan, and Attack on Titan was one of the first shows that I ever did reviews on, and that was years ago.
It was a really, really long time. Yes, it seems to be going on forever. Attack on Titan.
Absolutely, it does. So there we go. So that is pretty much all we can say about the show for now. Obviously, me and David will continue doing Attack on Titan discussions when part 2 starts.
I do hope that you have enjoyed them, but for now, this will be obviously the last. Well, unless any sort of news comes out, I don't know whether Adam will release that as a separate video. Maybe just himself announcing any news that he hears. I think I might in the build up.
All I'll say, I might do that. Well, what I will do actually is, if anyone's, I mean, if you've listened to this, then you don't really need to watch the video, I guess. But I am going to do a sort of a video just talking about the announcement of part 2 and that. But that's, if you've listened to this, you don't really need to watch that.
Yeah.
But yes, we may do future. But for now, unless any news comes out, that will be the last Attack on Titan discussion, at least.
Yes.
Until part. I mean, what we will do, we will obviously do a discussion about episode 76 or episode 1 of part 2. Absolutely do that.
Of course.
But until then, that will be the last Attack on Titan.
And by the time we get around to talking about the second part of Attack on Titan, we actually may be able to go back to to doing actual double videos where you can be me and Adam and actually properly and do a proper video rather than just these podcasts, because that would be certainly be very good, wouldn't it, if we could do that?
Well, absolutely, and like we've said before, the only reason we're doing this in sort of podcast form at the moment is just because that's the only way we can do these types of videos at the moment. Yeah. But as soon, like we said before, as soon as we can do normal videos with us two together again, we absolutely will do that.
Definitely. So there we go. So before we go, I believe there is more stuff coming for this channel in the near future.
Yes, we are. We've left a couple of we've left a couple of announcements here for the end. Like I said, this is the last Attack on Titan discussion for a while that we're going to do, but it's not going to be the last discussion that we do until then. We are going to be announcing right now a new discussion series, and we have a first episode planned, and we have a day when we're actually going to release this. Now, we haven't recorded it yet, but we are going to be releasing it later this week.
Yes.
This weekend.
What is this new? And tell the folks listening, what is this new series entitled, and what's it going to be about?
So the new series that we've come up with is going to be called the Why We Love series, and basically we don't know how many episodes it's going to be. At least 2. There's going to be at least 2 for sure. And basically what it's going to be us talking about a specific anime series that we love. Basically, we're just going to be talking about our favorite series that we love. Now, we're not going to talk about Attack on Titan because, yes, we love it, but we've done these, so we don't need. That we like this show.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about other shows, and basically, it's just going to be about why we love the shows, what we like about them, our favorite moments, that sort of thing.
Perhaps why we'd recommend them to people, and score them as well, and things like that.
Absolutely. And so I want to announce that the first episode that will be released this Saturday, April 3rd, will be Why We Love Death Note.
Oh yes, what a way to start it off! What a show! That will now certainly be a good conversation indeed.
Now, if you thought that me and David were big fans of Attack on Titan, I would arguably say we're even bigger fans of Death Note.
Oh, absolutely! That's certainly a valid argument. Yes, it's Attack on Titan's high up, but Death Note as well. Oh, what a show!
I'll just start this to sort of lead into it a little bit as a sort of a tease of what's going to come on Saturday. I'll just do this really quickly. The first time I saw Death Note was, I think it was 2009, maybe, and I just thought the show it is one of the best animes I have ever seen.
Well,
honestly, I swear. So to give us a little tease of what's to come on Saturday, when was the first time you saw Death Note, and what did you think?
Well, remember, I think I've explained this before quite a few times in the past at various points. But remember, I was quite, other than watching Pokemon, when I was a kid, and stuff like that, and Dragon Ball Z, whatever, I was quite late to the party with other animes, and it was only really when you started showing them to me. I got into it. So I can't even remember the year.
Well, I was going to say, like, I think I think that if I remember correctly, the first time that you really saw any anime outside of Pokemon and stuff wasn't it when you noticed Sword Art Online on my shelf?
I noticed. Yeah, I was around yours. We just probably after school or maybe college. I can't even remember exactly what I was doing at the time. And I just said, "Oh, what's that?" And I looked at it, and I read like the plot on the back of the was it the DVD or the Blu-ray? I can't even remember which one it was. But I looked at the back of it. Very good. I looked at the back of the Blu-ray, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds so interesting." And And I can't remember. Did you put it on there and then, or did I go away and watch it? I can't even remember.
What happened was, from what I remember, and this is supposed to be. We'll get back onto Death Note briefly in a second. What happened is you saw it, and I saw it, and you read it, and you said, "Oh, that sounds interesting." So I said, "What do you want to?" I said, "Oh, well, do you want to watch the first episode then, see what it's like?" So I put the first episode. I think you only watched the first episode with me there and then you went away and watched the rest because it was on Netflix at that point.
I think possibly so. Yeah. So yeah, about that sort of time. I can't pinpoint the year. I don't know whether Adam can, but that is when I started watching.
I think it was around maybe 2015 or 2016 or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was around that time. I think.
Now, see, that seems a little bit too. I'm sure it might have been before that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So the first episode discussion will be on Death Note. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So just really quickly, I think the first time you saw Death Note, it must have been on Netflix, right?
Oh, honestly, I really can't remember. I've got it's too long ago. I don't know.
But you see, but anyway, what we will do on Saturday, you're going to get a full discussion about Death Note, what we love about it, why we love it, the characters, what we love about certain characters. And let me tell you, I've got lots of stuff I want to say about like L and Misa and Light and all these characters. But
oh yes,
look forward to Saturday. That first episode will be released on Saturday.
It will indeed. So
and should I tease them and give away what the second one's going to be about as well?
Go on.
All right then. So the first one is going to be about Death Note. The second episode, and I know some of you are not going to like this. I know that because everyone knows.
If the show does divide people, does divide the anime community. But go on.
It absolutely does. So like I said, the first episode is going to be about Death Note. The second episode is going to be why we love Sword Art Online.
Oh, very good. So there we go.
We've only thought of 2 at the moment, so that's all we've got. So this Saturday, new series, Why We Love Death Note. This Saturday.
Now, I think before we go, I think I asked this to you off air, but what I'm saying is this What I Love series. Is it going to be exclusively just like animes that we love, or is the What I Love going to be? Could it be about anything, or was it just anime?
Well, it can be about anything. So if you're listening to this and you don't know, we actually do have another channel, which is called the A&D Sessions. And basically what that is, it's more of a variety channel. This one is anime focused, of course. The other channel is, like I said, variety based, where we talk about movies, games, music, any other sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
The last, actually, just recently, we put out a discussion on there, which was our top 5 favorite games of all time, didn't we? We put that out recently.
Go and check that out and see if you like our list. But
I'll leave a link to the other channel in the description if you want to head over there and check that out.
Yes.
So you might see, as I say, you might see some Why We Love videos over on that channel as well.
Yes, that aren't anime related. But yes, I think that just about rounds up this discussion for this time. So I think now would probably be the appropriate time to sign off, I would say.
It will, yes. So everybody, thank you very much for listening. If you've listened to all of our Attack on Titan discussions, they will return maybe before part 2 comes out, but maybe it might wait until part 2 comes out. We'll just see how things go.
We got a lot of this year to get through first before that even comes back into the scene. But it's been a great time, talking about it. I've really enjoyed it. I've loved how in depth it's been, and the show gives us that material really, because there is so much to talk about, because there's so much depth to the show and the universe surrounding the series. So yes, well,
absolutely.
I think that just about does it.
It does. So yes, like I said, thank you for listening to all of our Attack on Titan discussions.
Yep.
And don't forget Why We Love the first episode, the Why We Love series. The first episode comes out this Saturday. Look forward to that. I've been Adam. He's been David. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Indeed.